That looks quite bright up there. Is it supposed to? Exposure with it. Are we live?
Yeah.
Yes, go live. Hi everybody, Mark Cleghorn here, running late as normal in the studio. We did a quickie shoot before we kind of went live, so our own worst enemy, and we're building a set today as well, which kind of we're trying to do it live for you to get an idea. Today is about building a simple set for boudoir. In the studio, my church studio here, I've got these amazing kind of church windows for natural light, great for black and white, terrible for colour because of all the dappled light and all the coloured light and everything else with it. But at least it gives us kind of a natural big light source. I'm going to transform this into a little bit more of a kind of the French boudoir kind of small set that I like to create. Let's talk about what we've got at hand first. We've got Gaia with us today, who's a dancer model. She's been with us all day shooting. She's never done boudoir before and things really, so it's a new thing for her, but it's only a few shots no matter what. But basically, let's talk about it. We got church windows. Speaks without, you can see them anyway. We've technically got a blow-up bed that we're using here just so we can kind of show you that you don't need to have a permanent space if you don't want it, if you're getting into boudoir or you're looking to add it into your business and things really. Obviously we've got kind of a duvet of sorts, pillows of sorts, lots of cheap IKEA white netting or netting from places all over that sell stuff cheap. That's okay. I like textures. I like a three-dimensional element with it and things really. So as much as I like our kind of studio cupboard, which is movable, it moves around the studio and basically inside. Dare I open it? No, I can't. It's because it's blocked in. But it kind of gives us all our kind of our storage and everything else and things really. So it gives us one background. You've seen before, in fact, the flower wall. And we use this as a second side of the studio. So I like three-sided studios. A, window. B, wall. C, the flower wall. So 1, 2, 3 as it were. Okay, so by doing that, it allows us a little bit of variety, and especially if you're working in a small space, a small set will really help with you and things. Kind of just go from there. Do you know what? We are running late, as I said, so I'm not going to make any more apologies. Sorry. Let's just kind of tether up live and get going. I usually shoot the boudoir on a 50mm lens. The only time I really shoot on the medium zoom is when I am shooting the overhead shot. So when I need a kind of more of an overall bed, I'm just plugging into my tether tools. Excuse me while I just put it down a minute. I'm just plugged into camera anyway, but just as far as the tether tools cable just goes into the side port and basically switching on, and pretty much we're ready to go. I'm going to shoot first of all in natural light for you. All right, let's just get a shot to check we've got feed. Yep, we've got feed, good. So haven't metered yet or anything else with it. As we're on about building a set today, good job we're running late because we haven't finished it. The first thing I do want to do though, before we actually get into any form of shot, is to just soften things down a little bit, like I mentioned, yeah? So, try not to knock over video cameras and everything else as we go. We're going to start off just by throwing up some netting, getting a little bit of a three-dimensional element to it. And as I said, lots and lots of this stuff to just disguise the harshness and gives a little bit more of a, as I said, the texture. I'm going to completely start with that again. Put that up there, Mark. Brilliant. Same thing, I'm looking for the head of the netting, curtain, other way is it? we go. Stick that up here. And the good news when you're setting up your own set instead of just buying a purpose-made background is it can change. If you want to buy some coloured netting to give yourself a little bit of variety, you can. If you want to change from a kind of a creamy colour to a white colour, then that's fine. It's going to be kind of background set anyway. I still think it needs some more here a minute. Last one, and we'll get a shot done right out of the bag. In UK, it's just after 5:10. It's May, or just April. May is in a couple of days' time. Why am I saying that? It's because of the lighting. So you've got to be aware of what you can do and what you can't do if you're going to kind of shoot in natural light all the time and things, really. And for me, it's great, but I need to be able to shoot 24/7. In other words, any time of the year and things, really. So that's why we're going to transform this set into a bit of a flash set. So we're going to work from daylight into flash now. Okay, metering. What are we going to do? Let's first of all meter for the daylight. And so just put in the meter into f-stop. I'm looking at around about f2.8. So I need to increase the ISO now. So if we kind of look on screen, you've got a kind of a 100 ISO, 30th of a second, or I can't hold that slow anymore. Okay, he's trying to focus now in this kind of panic mode. All right, so I'm just going to actually change the ISO upwards so I can get to about 125th of a second. So if I go up to 400th, in fact, I'm going to be pretty much close to 200th, 250th of a second anyway. We can dial back a third of a stop with the kind of the lens. So if I was to do that, ISO 400, f2.8, let's go 3.2, making sure I've got focus on and kind of just coming through. Brilliant. I'm going to go to switch into my black and white mode. So the shot we're going to see is here. It's obviously designed to actually be the backlight coming through, so you get a good idea. Right, Princess Gaia, come on in, please, baby. We'll just keep on the screen for a minute, just while Gaia's on set. Gaia, I'm going to bring you, so you're laying on the bed, legs are going to be to that direction. Don't push too far back, because your head's going to be up there, sorry. Head's up there, legs towards me, rolling onto this side with it and things, really. This knee over the top a little bit, it's perfect. So again, we're going to get different kind of shots. If you bring the head up to this pillow for me, please, if you can, darling. That's beautiful there. Let's bring this hand up, and we're going to be looking out, please. This top leg, let it come over that's beautiful. Just roll the butt back to me, that's it, and relax. Okay, looking away from me, let's have a quick look. Quick shot. So, nice easy image. Let's do it again, keep it. And kind of we've got our simple shot. Now, obviously, as I move into the light, straight at me, please, darling. That's great. Stay there for me a minute. So, because I've got the windowsill, I can shoot flat light. Because obviously all the window light's coming through. It's the same exposure, yeah? As long as we expose correctly to begin with. And now I can basically even kind of shoot the kind of the near silhouette image. So if you just jump up for a minute and just go onto your knees. So go onto all four on here. Your head's still up to that end for me if you can. Turn the body that way. Go onto your all fours and put the knee back. That's it. We'll do a faceless image. So if you drop the head down and just let it go, that's great. Push the left knee back more fully, darling. That's a little bit there. Let's do it. And I come just down a little bit lower and relax. So from here, that's a kind of a faceless cat. Darling, if you now just lay onto your shoulder, so actually go onto your side That's lovely. And now just look back towards the light. Straight away, you're into a reclining pose. And it's thinking about how you're able to actually shoot that variety. I'm not sure why my focus isn't picking up. Let me just change the lens a minute. Let's do it again. Keep it eyes towards me, please, Gaia. It's great there. Let me just shoot from above. Set of steps is essential for me. It's gorgeous. Keep it. And again, looking out that way. Use both hands right above. Stretch as high as you can upwards with the hand. That's lovely. Roll away a touch more. That's lovely. It's there. Great. Just bring this hand down to the nickel line. That's it. This hand to the head then, just actually around the side. Keep it and relax. Gaia, if you want to jump off for a minute, please. So we know we've got that basic set. Let's cut back to the screen, please, Brandon, while Gaia comes off set. Okay, we're clear again. Right, so we know our basic kind of image that we've got there, the window light. So it's kind of got a good set. You can see, you go in, well, why did you bother to put all the netting up? It's just for this area up here, so it wasn't just blank. And I'm just trying to give that lovely soft element to it. In the same way, if I had just turned the bed to a horizontal kind of position, so the head of the bed is towards the window with it, I would have in fact had a kind of an almost different style of photograph straight away, in fact. As is, I want to build the set for you as promised, yeah? And I want to move it away from the natural light and look how we can actually create a kind of a studio set. So just from here, if it was going to be a set, we can shoot with the natural light. If I wanted to, remember, I've already set up the flower wall, so I could shoot through here as well. Okay, so I've created that set that is versatile to begin with, and that's what we were trying to achieve. Right, let's just quickly untether. Yep, and we're just going to move the camera out of the way for a minute. I'm going to slide stuff in and out. We are live today, so it means that if you've got any questions on boudoir or setting up a studio set with it, then please feel free to actually get them in live. That's the whole point of these live events. Right, so number one, flooring. So if I just kind of push out my bed first. Thank you, Gaia. Watch this cable. Okay, just get that up there. Put it down, but we'll just leave it go out. Thank you. Bring that up to you.
This way.
Yeah, that's it. Well, thank you. Okay, so first things first. Pointless to put the small checkered floor right against the wall unless she's going to be here later on using the window set or whatever it be. It's no problem, but it's not in the plan. Okay. Next thing is to create myself a bit of a window set. So I'm going to opt for Elastilite highlight. Pretty much, to be honest, it doesn't matter which one I've got. Whatever I get out of the bag, that's okay. So it's the 7.5, yeah? Just need to get the rods. And then we're just going to kind of stick this together, yeah? I think if you were trying to set up a portable studio in your home and you're living with anybody, your partner's going to go mad, especially when you're kind of transforming a space like I am here. If you were visiting a client's home to do the same thing, Brandon, I'm not sure if you know, mate, but you've put some rods that are the wrong size in. Let's do this again. Okay, so just fixing this across, and these are just kind of pushing out. And this is just giving the two spring that kind of all the material is stitched on tension apart. Okay, so it's just pushing them apart. There is a top and a bottom to the actual highlight. And they're designated by just, there's a bit of Velcro. D. Minus? Are we back? Brilliant, thank you. Okay, good job we spotted that, Bradden. Where were we saying? Yeah, think about a small room, garage, something that is going to be a permanent studio for you is the key thing, yeah? If you're not thinking about a space, it's not going to allow you to kind of really add and subtract to your ideas as far as a boudoir photographer is concerned. So, you know, we're using the window end of Studio One here to actually create something a little bit more than it is. So the first things first, we've got a window ledge that sometimes loves me and other times doesn't. But this is going to be a way that we're going to kind of fix this in place, and we're going to just put the net curtain in front of it to make it look like a curtain anyway. We'd usually put one of our couple of big trunks we've got just in front here, and that will actually stop it or kind of fix it in place. But we wanted to show you how we do it. So we can either work with it on the floor, away from the window, because it's not a problem if that's the case, or we can basically hide it or fix it behind the actual netting. Brandon, you need to grab that end for me, bud. Okay, so let's kind of build this in. So what are we going to do? Are we going to leave it on the floor? We're going to put it in the window set. Let's put it on window then. If it's up to me, stick it up there. Push it to my end so we've got enough space for that light. My end, this one's going to have enough light. We're going to put the, can you just hold the highlight for 1 minute? No, just hold the highlight, nothing else, thanks. Just going to actually turn this around so it's kind of fixing against here. You can turn your legs around as well, I'll grab it. Yep, so let's take this up tall, and it'll stop it from falling over. Hang on to the highlight a minute, please. Okay, make sure it's resting on the rim, yeah? Either you're pulling it away.
Do you mind holding it, please?
Yeah. And all we've got to do is make sure the rod is lower than the actual highlight itself, yeah? If not, we'll have a problem. Okay, I'm locked off there, so I just need to, So I just need to actually put a light in. And again, remember, we're trying to create these real spaces for you so you can get a good idea on how it's going to kind of work in a normal small room set or whatever it is. So we're definitely not making it easy for ourselves. Zip in, I'm not sure if you can see here, but I'm just zipping the highlight light in place. Brandon, that is definitely not going to fix itself. We need to actually put a bag in the highlight, please. Would you just hold the highlight for 1 minute for me? Is that okay? Yeah, as long as it's at the back. Mm-hmm. And could you just hold the highlight again, please? I don't know why. I'll show you why I'm laughing now. There's a speed light spigot on the top of a stand. Hey ho. I love our job. One of these days I'm just going to make it nice and easy for myself, you know, and just say, this is what we're doing, we've just done it. There you go, look at this. Right, let's pull this back against. Let's make sure it's nice and secure. Yeah, and it's bagged and it's resting against the back of the highlight, please, yeah? And just stick a bag on that bottom of that stand for a minute, yeah? Just to be sure. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you saw, but there was a speed light spigot on the actual top of the stand, which was obviously the weak part and things really. Right, almost there in fact. I'm just going to get another little light poking its head from around the side. I'm not sure, are you visible to this at all, Brandon? Is this visible? Tell you what I would like is a honeycomb. The word was please, sorry. Any joy?
What dish have you got? Have you got a big
wide, yeah, thanks bud. Okay, and that one is in group 1. Okay, it's good. So we're almost there, in fact. I need a lot more netting over the bed and everything else in a minute. I want to just diffuse this light coming through here. And have you got a clamp with you? I know you've got some on your trousers. He steals them, honest to God. Check on there. Thanks, bud. Okay, pretty good. Right. Let's bring our bed back on. If you haven't seen the Photographer Academy, we're an online training company for photographers. I began my career in the late 80s, finishing school, went to work for a photographer, a commercial photographer in fact, and then my wife and I decided, in fact I wanted to and she agreed, is the correct expression, to basically open a studio. And that's what we did. We had a bit of a wedding business running, not a huge amount at all, but enough for us to not kind of panic too much about work. Go on, stay up there for once. Go on. Brand, you know my back's gone. Please feel, mate. For those of you who haven't been following my physiotherapy, my back is shot. Brilliant, mate, thank you. Other way around, so the head is at the top, not the other way, please. Thanks, mate. You can do it. Think positive. See, and you thought I had troubles. Yeah. Okay, bro. Thank you. Come off set then. And if you could just grab the net in and just do the bed for me, please. So I'm going to meter. First things first. Identify. Putting back down my 100 ISO now. Going back into my flash. I want to shoot just group 1, which is the honeycomb. So that's given me 1.7 a minute, so put that up so I can get 2.8. Mate, just throw it on. We're live. We don't have to do your shushy kind of... Your girlfriend must be so impressed the way you make beds nowadays, yeah? Possibly edit that out on the film, all right, kind of thing, yeah? 2, there we go, brilliant. I obviously didn't switch the other light on behind, so I'll go switch that one on. D. So, if you didn't follow what we were doing, we're using the highlight as a bit of an ambient light source, as a big daylight, yeah? And even though the modeling bulb's not on, I can let's put it on, there we go. So it's 2.8. Let's take that down 1 stop. And I can do that from the meter. She's going to be in the middle of the bed anyway. Brilliant. And group 1. Back to there, up to 2.8 again. If I want to go from 2.8 to f4 quickly, instead of just metering, there we go, oh, it's 2.8. I can just basically change my ISO. Right, best way, do you think we should turn the bed with the bed head up there or keep it there? Bed head up there is the best one, isn't it? Wide, yeah, I'll just spin it around. Thank you. I know it's your birthday last week, but I'll buy you a beer whenever we're allowed to do it again. Are we ever going to be allowed to buy each other a beer from now on? I don't know. Right, let's get some netting. Gaia, it's that time. I'm just looking for another piece of net. Okay, so we're going to just cover over those pillows. Same thing, really. Just get yourself into between those pillows, head up towards there. I'll just tether up. So, all I got to do now is just reset camera into the flash mode, yeah, as far as switching on. Let it come live. ISO 100, f2.8. And Brandon's coughing for questions, yeah? He couldn't be more subtle if he tried, could he, kind of thing with it, you know? Right, let's bring your feet down to here for me, darling. Scooch down to me a little bit more. Don't worry about kind of your bum kind of being rolled across. Just lay backwards. No, just lay backwards as if you're in bed, yeah? It's kind of our French boudoir now, so just turning the head around towards here. So what I've now got is, let's just do the quick test shot, just to make sure all the settings are correct. So straight away you can see we've got a more dramatic light coming into the image. Let's just take that down, I think another. I'm going to bring your bottom to there and your head to there. Slight angle for me if you can. Bring your feet down towards here, that's lovely. Let's stretch both arms back, I think, anyway, for a minute. That's lovely, it's there, let's do it. Okay, so we've got ourselves kind of a great little set. I'll turn it into colour for you a minute. Brand, do you know where our plastic is? I'll show you kind of how we shoot, kind of to soften and everything else with it. Can you move just back around towards there again? Yeah, that's lovely. Let's just use the right hand to the hair, which is great, and the left hand down towards the butt. Grab a piece of the net in, a lot from here, from away from you, and bring it and just put it on to more that part than that part. There you go, just one layer, that's lovely. Turn the head around towards here again, that's lovely. Eyes close to me again. Keep it, that's great. So you can see the, thanks bud. I'll move, shall I? The COVID dance. Okay, so we've got a really nice kind of image. Let's shoot up towards the set. So what we've kind of just put in front now is the scratch plastic. This is the diffuser that's given us the kind of the the look and the feel, yeah? So if you've seen us do the live stuff before, you often see me put this scratch piece of acrylic just actually over the front, just on a bit of gaffer tape on the top so I can kind of bring it off to focus, drop it back down there, and it's quick for me to peel and change its position. I can even shoot through it and so on with it. Old technique and things. Right, princess. Okay, let's do that. Keep it. Again, raise the chin more. Eyes open for me. Try and get your body now up onto that pillow for me. Can you at the top part? Remember, it's not really a boudoir posing guide today. It's more about how we build the set and everything else. Princess, just looking out towards here. That's lovely. Let's bring the right hand down. Let's sit up more, as if you're leaning. Don't lean too far against that. It's a movable wall. The key word is movable, yeah? That's lovely. And just there, let's grab one layer of netting, one layer, and just cover over the top of your arm or whatever. One layer, so it's sheer. We've been shooting some great dance stuff today with Gaia, so I can't wait for you to see it on the academy. Okay, let's do it, darling. Okay, so let's, it's beautiful. Again, whoop. New gaffer, soon. Okay, that's lovely. Keep it looking out again. Keep it again. Shoot against the light is my favourite thing in boudoir anyway. So kind of I like the grainy, soft edge and things where it's great. Right, let's see what the other light is doing, yeah? So this is the highlight. This is what we took all the time to put in place. So let's kind of just see what it's going to do first of all. So if we shoot it, just do the same pose for me, please, darling, as you were. I'll take off the plastic for now, as it were, just so you can see. So remember, it's a stop underexposed, so it should look wrong, and it does, yes? If I wanted to use this fully, which we will in a minute, we can pretty much put Gaia's head in around here. Where all this light is, where she is now, she's not in the light source, but if I turn the legs and put them up the actual wall, bring the head down towards here, we're going to get a great shot no matter what with it, okay? So as it is, what we're using this for, if I just shoot the two setups together, yep, so let's do group one first. Darling, if you just look that way, that's lovely. There, let's do it. Stay there for me a minute. Oh, I'll reset, shall I? Switch it on again. Okay, let's, keeps popping up with Miss B. Oh. Hey, that's it. Okay, quick test. Let's make sure it's coming up live. So this is our group one, yeah? This is the group 4. And this is both together. Again, relax. So if we just look at those 3 images for 1 minute, I didn't put the scratch glass on there, but you can start to see how the kind of the 2 lights together start to actually mix. So in the top left image, we can see that that is just that small little light source coming through with the gridded light and everything else, giving that great specularity like sunlight. Then in the next image to the right hand side, you've just got that fill quality. Can you see it? It's kind of dark and everything else with it, but remember it's set 1 stop less. And then we've got how those 2 lights together in the bottom image are kind of beginning to actually mix themselves and everything else with it. And that's the kind of the boudoir setup that we've kind of created in here. So if you stay there for a minute, I'm just going to shoot with the plastic glass again. Just a few images with both of the images live. Stretch this one leg to me, please, on top. That's lovely. Bend it again now. Just bend the knee. That's great. Can you come and sit upright more for me? Just against that wall. More. Turn your body that way. And sit up against the wall. That's it, darling. It won't move that fast. You can lean on it. No, you can. Yeah, no, that's lovely. And then basically 1 piece of netting. So move it all away from your bottom and just bring 1 sheer piece to you. That's it. And now looking out towards the side for me again, darling. That's lovely. Keep it. And again, look, just adjust the left strap for me on your top. Your strap on the top. No, it's just a pose. Just your left strap. Just looking down towards the strap as you're doing it, please. That's lovely. And again, keep it. Let's lean onto this arm. So you're almost leaning out, looking out of a window. It's lovely. It's there. keep it. And just turning the head to me now. Lean the head again, it's gorgeous. Looking down as if there's somebody through the window again. Keep it, it's lovely. Nice shot, good girl. Really, really soft kind of light. Let's just finish off with that shot that I was on about, with just the highlight, because we made all that effort to use it as the light. So the feet are going to go there. They don't have to be up the wall, but I want your head pretty much where your arms are now, please. So at this stage, we're back into group 4, which is the backlight. And for me to use that as a key light, I have to move it up in ISO now, okay? So I've moved up to 200 ISO. Let's do the quick test shot. Let's have a quick look. Remember, I'm looking for the light coming in from behind. It's great. Let's do it again. Put my plastic on again. It's gorgeous. Roll away, so give me more bottom. That's it. That's enough. Yeah, don't fuss it. Look in again towards the window for me. Let me shoot quite low down again. Let's bring the right hand away from the head. Don't know why that didn't fire. Let's do it again. Keep it. Just make sure it's going. There we go. It's lovely. Keep it. Again. Just bring one piece of netting just actually onto the thigh. That's it. And again, keep it. Stay there for me. And let me just get my stool for the last shot. This is where probably I would swap over to the 24 to 105 lens. Keep it. That's lovely. Both hands towards the hair. And looking back to me, please. Keep it. Again. Just turn the head towards this direction. Let's shoot without. Keep it. Again, one more. Excellent. Relax, darling. Brilliant. Let's stay on the screen for a minute. Oh, was that the last shot? It didn't fire. Hang on a minute. Keep it. One more. Relax. Great. Let's stay on screen for a minute, Brandon, while Gaia can come off set. Thank you, Gaia. Brilliant, darling. One of these days we'll shoot real boudoir with you instead of just in demo. So I think what you kind of can see is that the kind of the setup from the window light left and the kind of the flash window light right gives us a versatility. I love window light. I have a saying that is natural light before reflector, reflector before flash, and flash is the last resort. However, when we want consistency and controllability, flash is always going to be my best friend as a rule of thumb. So it's whenever I'm kind of setting up a shoot or a style that I need to be repeatable, I need to make sure that I'm using something that is repeatable. So it might be LED for you, it might be tungsten light, or it might be, in my case, flash and things really. So I hope you've enjoyed this kind of putting the room set together. I know it's a bit of a faff and kind of just going through it, but I wanted to show it live, so at least you get to actually see what it's like. Even though we haven't photographed towards this pink flower wall, remember it is a part of my set. You can't see it, but it is a part of my set as well, okay? So I would have a three-sided. So I can shoot from here towards the window that was. I shot from here with the studio flash window. And obviously I can shoot towards the actual grey wall, and obviously I could shoot towards the actual pink wall if I was going to. It's just the video cameras were in the way today. So as far as the images are concerned, the main difference was to kind of look at the softening of images. Now, you're probably going to do it in the post-production as well, but I always like to actually pretty much do it in camera, or as much as I can in camera, no matter what. And when you see the kind of comparison with and without the actual scratch glass, as it were, and basically you go, oh, you know what? It's worthwhile doing it in camera. That's me done. Any questions there, Brandon?
Yeah.
Gaia, you are done. So if you want to get changed and ready to go, you're done. Thank you very much. You're an angel today. Honestly, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Couple of questions.
Questions, go.
Is about the lighting. So somebody's working on a budget, they're trying to set in their own house.
Yeah.
Um,
Have they got speed light?
No, I assume they don't.
Okay. So I would try and find a light source that is pluggable, if possible, because they charge the capacitor quicker. So even if it was like the likes of the Elinchrom D-Lite ones, or the equivalent, they're an entry-level studio flash. Let me go grab one a minute. Brandon hates it when I walk off set. Sorry, Brandon. So, D-Lite one, without gel, all right? But basically, the D-Lite one is an entry-level flash, and a couple of heads with stands, with a trigger for remote triggering like the Skyport I had on camera. We're looking at somewhere about the 400 to 500 pound mark. They do different kind of kits to go on the front. The first thing I would do is invest yourself into a soft box with a double diffuser and a honeycomb grid, if possible, on the front. You should be able to buy the likes of a Photix box for around about 100 quid. excuse me. So within the actual budget, you'll pretty much nail. I was looking for my coffee, it's disappeared again. But it's basically, I'm going to get my coffee, I'm going to talk as we go. As far as the budget's concerned, that's where I would start. I would start with Pro Studio Flash if I haven't got a Speedlight flash. However, if you like the idea of portability, then go down a Speedlight route or a portable flash route. I'm still not quite sure about the LED with flash in them, to be honest. I think they're expensive and they're limited in the power that we can get out of them and things really. Does that answer the question? But I would go for a 2-light kit.
Yeah. The other question was, show us again how you did the blurring.
Oh, okay.
I think somebody thought that you were doing something through the camera with something to do with the curtains or second curtain. But
no, as far as the blur is concerned, as far as the softness, do you want to pull that one up on screen for a minute? Yeah. This soft edge element that we're giving the image here, yeah, is was there one done without it? I'm sure there was. There we go. Let's do the comparison. So this image and this image. Yep. Exactly the same settings, exactly the same lens, pretty much the same focus point anyway. The only difference being is this little piece of scratched glass, plastic, acrylic, yes, is basically being put in front of the lens. So when you saw it dropping off all the time, I'm not kidding, it was. I love it with live. It's just like showing how it happens real and things, you know. But we usually have a bit of gaffer tape that you can see that kind of sticks on the top of my lens cap, so I can kind of pull it out of the way if I'm struggling to focus at times and put it back again, all right? But after a while, I'm such a cheapskate that I should actually just replace the bit of gaffer tape. This piece of acrylic just comes out of a cheap as chips frame that I bought in a kind of a flea market, plastic glass, and then basically scratching the hell out of it. And there is a clear point to it as well. But that's what we're doing. We've got several of these, in fact. I can't remember if we created one live once, did we? On an Academy?
yeah, it's on the Academy page.
On the Academy page, or is it on the YouTube page?
Not yet, but it's soon.
Yeah, well, it's so simple, honestly. It's just a big difference with it. But years ago, when we were shooting with medium 4 format, the lenses were so sharp that we needed to knock them back for wedding and portrait photography. So the majority of my wedding and portraiture was done on a Hasselblad, whereas the majority of the commercial was done on the likes of Mamiya or Pentax. But as far as the Hasselblad lenses were concerned, they were so sharp, they used to sell what was called a soft R1 and a soft R2. And basically, going back 30 odd years ago, they were about 150 quid each. And I used to have to replace one every single year. Why? Because you used to stick it in your pocket and your coins used to actually rub it. And then by the end of the year, you had a soft R1.5 or a soft R2 with it and things really. But yeah, just have a bit of fun with it and things really. But obviously the ability, you know, doing this in Photoshop, of course, you can switch it back to that. But I'm shooting as core. So in other words, the JPEG and the raw file all has that effect on it, of course.
Final question, there was a follow-up to the do this type of shoot, how would you do it with one?
So the question follow-up was the guy who asked about the entry level of lighting has one on-camera flash. Funny enough, today we've just been doing with Gaia what you do with an on-camera flash, not for boudoir though, and we were just showing you how to zoom it and bounce it and everything else. The first thing I would do is try and find something to take it off camera. So if it is, I'm sure we've got them all around still because we've been doing with it. There we go. Blah, blah. Couldn't have planned that, could we? But basically, if you've got one of these on top of the camera and you want to take it off camera, you're either going to have another one of a similar make, similar brand, and does all the things, or you're going to have a cable or a controller to do the same thing with it. I tend to actually use, as you know by now, the third-party speedlight flashes like the Yongnu's, because they're disposable. We kind of use them so much, and I was going through Canon flashes like you just cannot believe, and when they're kind of £500-600 a pop all the time, looking at a flash that is £100 is a better buy and things really.
One more just came through. How long is your tether cable?
How long is my tether cable? I have got no idea, but it's big, but we got a shuttle. Because if you've watched the Academy Lives, or you're a member of the Photographer Academy, I try and kind of tether all the time so you can see the live image and kind of the boys being clever and kind of dropping in the great image that's gone through Photoshop and everything else with it. But you know, I move fast and I move quite a variety around the model or the client. Recently we shot was it 10 Dalmatians? You know, I said, we ain't going to be tethered, didn't I? I went, no way. Why? Because there's more chance of me having to reset all the time, and you can have those images in post, as it were. But something like we're doing today, it's an easy way to do it. So I've got two tether cables together, and they're basically shuttled. The great thing about the shuttle is that there's a little rubber grommet on each end, plus there's a kind of a plastic grip on the inside that keeps them from pulling apart. So within here, you've basically got a male and female. I'm going to wreck it all now, aren't I? There we go. So I'm just going to pull it apart, try and pull it out. Okay, so we've basically got the male and the female part there to actually kind of keep it together. And as normal, I break it. It's not broken, it's just come apart. But there's two cables together. But we've been playing around with a case air, haven't we? Yeah. Playing around with a case air. And in all honesty, on these kind of shoots, I haven't bought the Air Direct yet, which is the one that I could actually shoot straight into Capture One with or Lightroom with or whatever. But the case air, we haven't got it at hand by any chance, have we? Yes. Yeah. Let me just check that on there a minute. Thanks, bud. Thank you very much. So the case air basically will go onto the camera somewhere. I tend to actually just allow it to drop on the likes of another jerk stopper. This goes into where the usual tether cable would go in exactly the same way. And it shoots to the laptop, or it shoots to my iPhone, it shoots to my iPad, you name it, it shoots to it. I can tell it what to transfer, whether it's the JPEG and the RAW file, or just the JPEG file, or just the RAW file. I can tell it to do anything I want with it and things really. So if you're looking to actually go into tethering, I would say that perhaps you need to explore the likes of the kind of the Wi-Fi, but make sure that you're using something that is fast. When I was talking about the jerk stopper before, this is this little kind of cable by Tether Tools, and they basically slot together. So this stops the unit from pulling out of the side. I tend to actually, when I'm using anything to do with Wi-Fi like the case air or with a tether cable, when I'm going into portrait mode, I turn it in a clockwise rotation so the kind of the USB port isn't having any tension on it at all and things really. And it's a pretty old body now. I'm terrible. I only replace stuff when it breaks. So just going from there. Anything else, Brandon? Guys, thanks for joining us live. I know today was a bit of fuss. kind of putting that background behind the things really. But you joined us live right at the beginning where we still weren't ready for you, and I've got no problem with that at all. Just as a bit of a recap, remember the Photographer Academy is there for you 24/7, ad-free. So for 59 quid a year, you can join as a pro member and basically get to watch over 3,000 films. We had 3 new films each week. Plus, obviously, you've got full access to anything backward in anything below the pro and the pro categories and things really. We do have a business option as well. I think there's an offer running through at present that was 99 quid instead of 199 pounds. So if you want to actually take your business or photography a little bit more serious, you can kind of catch all our kind of recordings on that as well. I'm Mark Cleghorn for the Photographer Academy. Thanks Brandon, thanks Gaia, absolutely brilliant. Next week is in the box. Yeah. In the box, yeah. So yeah, if you haven't seen my in the box shoots, it's one of those highlight things again, but the model's going to be in it. We were basically photographing years and years ago. It's probably about 12 years ago now when I first put a nude into the highlight with it, and ever since, you name it, I've shot it inside that box. So we'll have a bit of fun. It can't be nude for you for YouTube, of course, but we're going to shoot some great images next week. Thanks. Take care. See you all soon. Bye bye. Thanks, Brandon.